Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. I've got an absolutely packed program again. Some very interesting charts to show you as well. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the big picture view like I normally do and tell you exactly where we are on our journey to the top of the bull market, anywhere around here. Regarding the targets for Bitcoin, I'm going to give you a new target for the next 7 to 10 days. And finally on Bitcoin, I'm going to show you the Bitcoin investor tool chart and exactly where we are in relation to topping off with Bitcoin. I'm also going to show you the one chart that nobody has shown on any YouTube channel, and that is the Ethereum chart marrying up with the Bitcoin log growth curves chart. And I'm going to show you exactly where we are with that. I'll also show you what the potential is for Ethereum based on this particular chart and whether this is valid or not. And finally, I'm going to have a look at a few of the altcoins and exactly where we are with the altcoin season. And finally, I'm going to cover a few altcoins just to give you a flavor of exactly what's about to happen with all the altcoins. So if that sounds interesting, without further ado, let's get cracking. But before we do get cracking, the usual disclaimer that please remember I'm not a financial advisor. All my videos are for educational purposes only, so please do your wider research before you make any big investment decisions. So with that out of the way, let's start off with the Bitcoin chart. And this is on the monthly time frame, so we can have a big picture view of what's about to happen with Bitcoin. So if we just look and zoom out, we can see exactly where we are with Bitcoin here. We've just passed the green line here, and in the last month I said that if we close the candle above this green line, we will only be a few months away from the top of the actual log growth curve, which is where we are expecting to top out. We obviously didn't close that candle, and I showed you that this was a shooting star candle, and it actually withdrew to below the green line here. However, the February candle, as you can see, is above the white line here. So what does that tell us? If we look historically, whenever we go above the green line, the middle line, like we did here, then we can see that there's only a few months to go before the end of the market. So this is what we've got to be aware of over here. That once we close above the midline of the log growth curves, we will really literally be just a handful of months away from the topping, and we need to be prepared for that. And I want all my subscribers to focus on this candle to make sure that we are knowing exactly where we are, where we want to be, and what we need to do when we get to the top of this curve. Very important that now that we are looking to close the February candle above the green line, we are literally a few months away. In the past bull market, when that closed, we were just 1, 2, 3, 4 candles away from the end. Anything can happen. This could be 5 months, could be 2 months, could be 10 months. We don't know, but certainly we are well into the bull market, and we are coming closer and closer to the end where we're going to have to make a big decision. So when the candle starts to hit this top here, wherever it is along this line here, we need to go back to our exit indicators and have a look at exactly where we are before we actually make a decision. This is our pi cycle indicators, the 111 over the 350. Once the orange line crosses above the green line, we all have a decision to make. So please keep a lookout for those two charts. Once we cross this is your biggest indicator for exiting. Once the orange line crosses above the green line, wherever the price is at that time, so we will have a decision to make. So what I'm saying is that when we have this cross of the orange line above the green line, we all have a decision to make. We all need to take responsibility and to be able to either exit the market. Is that a guarantee that that will be the top of the market? Well, if we look at the historical context, then that's what's happened in the past, as I've shown you many times before. Every time we have a top of the market, we get these. So it's a very good probability that that's what's going to happen. If these two cross and we still carry on going up, then obviously the historical facts in the chart have become a little bit negated. But certainly we will be very much near the top of where we want to be and to be able to make a decision. So everybody has to take their own decisions. Certainly when these lines cross, I will be looking to get out of the market as soon as I can. The other chart to look at is the Bitcoin investor tool. So if you want to type in indicators and Bitcoin investor tool, you'll get two of them here. One of them is locked and this one, BitSwift, is still open. So if you click on the BitSwift one, you'll get this particular chart. And you can see quite clearly that in the past, each top of the bull market went above the red line before topping off. Same here, went above the red line before topping off. Went above the red line here before topping off. And if you drew the trajectory here, it would also be the same. Before it topped off, it went above the red line and then went down. So based on the historical charts, it looks as though we've still got some way to go here. And it's very interesting actually to do a little calculation of what we can expect that once we hit the red line and peep above it, how far can we go above that? Well, if we look at the last bull cycle, as soon as we went above it over this line here, there, we went a further 193% before we topped off. So let's call it 200%. Previous to that, as you can see, we crept above the line over here. So if we take it from this line here, we went up about 466%. And the one previous to that, once we went above it, we went another 400%. So between 200 and 400%. So if that is the case now, if we went above this line, wherever that line is going to be further up, obviously we haven't even hit it here, but if it was to do it today, let's say, anywhere between 200 and 400%, let's call it 300% for being the midline, a 300% would take us to about $230,000. And obviously this red line is going to start creeping up as the price goes up. So the chances are we're going to be going to around about the 250 to 300,000 mark. Let's wait and see what happens. But these are the things to really look out for. Get your Bitcoin investor tool indicator and then keep looking at this to make sure that we haven't crept up. That will be our sign that we're still on the bull run. And once we creep above the red line, that'll be the time to really be focused on getting out of the market. And we do that by the exit indicator that I've showed you with the pi cycle. So what are the targets for the next few weeks? Well, we're on the 14th of February at the moment. And in the last two videos, I gave you 3 targets that we're going to meet in February. The first target was the R1 line, which we were meeting as I was doing the video actually here at around about the $40,000 mark a couple of weeks ago. And I said at the time that we're more than likely meet the R2 line, which is at 48,000, which we've just met. And the next line, the R3 pivot line, is at around about the $55,000 mark. And it looks with a high degree of probability that we're going to meet that. And my ambitious target was this one here at 61,000. I still think we'll meet the R3 line very shortly in the next couple of weeks. And I think we're going to be creeping up towards the 60,000 mark because we've had quite a decent correction over here and we've made another rally up here with a little bit of a correction. The interesting thing with these pivots is that they do give you very good accurate prices because whenever they come up to them, as you can see, they do have a little bit of a rest at these pivot lines. just like here at R2, we've had a little bit of a rest for the last few days on the 48,000. So before we rush up to the next pivot line, we tend to have a little bit of a breather at the previous pivot line. So that's exactly what we're doing at R2 before we rush off to the R3 line here. So let's wait and see, but this is the shorter term view obviously, but it's the bigger picture view that we all need to be really focused on. If you want to support the channel, then please click on any of my videos, and then below the videos you'll find a box called Show More, which gives you a description box, and in that description box is the affiliate link with Etoro that I have. So I partner up with Etoro because that's the main exchange I use for all my investments. These are the reasons why I tend to use Etoro. It's a very simple exchange to use in terms of depositing money and withdrawing the money, as well as trading if that's what you want to do, as well as for long-term investing, which is what I tend to do. So if you want to support the channel, please click on the partnership link, and then what you'll do is you'll get this box here, and then you can basically put your username, email and password and just fill in the form there. If you like any of my videos and you find value in them, then please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now this is the chart I wanted to show you for Ethereum. It's the monthly chart, and I wanted to show you the Bitcoin log growth curves and actually how the Ethereum price relates to this Bitcoin log growth chart. And as you can see, the last time Ethereum topped out was exactly at the bottom of this log growth chart. And the interesting thing here is that Bitcoin topped out here on the December candle, but Ethereum kept on going until January 2018. So what this tells us is that, let's say we're coming up to this point here and Bitcoin has already topped out. It may well be that Ethereum keeps going until we get to the top of this bottom line here. And as you can see, my target for the last over a year now has been this target here of 21,450. And this chart shows quite clearly that this is very, very achievable. And if it hits this line, that could be our exit indicator for Ethereum. That's what I want to get through. I mean, there's no guarantee because we've only got one data point here, so it's not really that credible if you really think about it. However, it does give us a guide that maybe this time as well, that Ethereum will top out at the bottom of this line. So that gives us a good indicator for exiting Ethereum at maybe a different point than Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin tops out, let's say in relation to Ethereum here, and Ethereum is at this point still a little bit way off to this point here, we'll have a decision to make whether to take the chance or the risk waiting for Ethereum to get to the top of here. What could be a good idea would be to actually take 30, 50, 70%, whatever you feel comfortable around here for Ethereum, and run the rest and see whether it would go up to this point here. And at least then you might be able to double your money at that point with the rest of the funds that you have. Only time will tell, but I just thought this would be a really wonderful chart to show because I've never seen it with anybody else, and I just decided to marry the two up, the Bitcoin log growth chart with Ethereum, and this is what I found, and I found this very, very interesting. So I hope you found that interesting as well. If you did find it interesting, then hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. A quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart will show us quite clearly that we actually went above this channel here, but we weren't able to sustain an upward movement. What's happened is that the Bitcoin dominance has been pushed down. And there was a decision to be made whether it was going to bounce off here and then go back up. However, as you can see, it's come back into the channel and it looks as though it's actually wanting to go much further down. And this could be the moment where the altcoins really now start to motor. And as we've seen, as I've shown you in the last few videos, like with Cardano, with Neo, and with many of the other altcoins, they're all taking shape now to have a really big push towards the upside. And this is the reason why, because the Bitcoin dominance is falling like a stone at the moment. I think this could be the greatest moment for getting into the altcoins if that's what you want to do. I still have my investments with Ethereum and Bitcoin related companies. However, if you do have a few altcoins, they could really make you a lot of money by this movement down to these levels down here in the next few months. So let's have a look at a few of them, because I know in the comment section quite a few people have been asking about them. In the last few videos I've been talking about NEO, but you can really talk about any of the altcoins because they're all coming up to these necklines, and I wanted to give you an example, which was the NEO one, because I have a vested interest in NEO. So I wanted to show you that once we come up to this neckline and we have a break at this point here, because this was the cup and handle as I drew in the last couple of videos. As you can see, as soon as the cup is formed and we come back to the neckline and we break the neckline, then we basically go to the races here, as you can see with the massive candle here. This is where we're going. And I said in the last few videos that once we break that, we're going to be basically doubling and tripling within a few weeks. So the video I made was on the 6th of February and we're on the 14th. So just over a week, we've virtually doubled it. This is the point when we were doing the video around about the $24 mark. We're now 47 mark. So we've just at 45. We've been as high as 47 already. So we've already virtually doubled our money within 8 days. So where can we go from here? Well, my first target is this one here. This is the all-time high for NEO at 209. So the next target is for NEO to get to 209. But my ultimate target, which I think you're going to have a good laugh at, is actually up here. My NEO target is at 3,000 when Bitcoin tops out. So this is where we're going, and that would be representing from where we are now around about a 65 to 70 times the current price. So this could be a 60, 70x from where we are now. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm just looking at it in my own way and giving you my opinion. It could fall from here at any time. Anything can happen. This is the crypto space. I'm just giving you my opinion that this is what I realistically think NEO is going to go to by the end of this bull market. But let's wait and see. It could top out at 200, 500, 1,000, anywhere along here. But certainly this breakout here tells us exactly where the trajectory is for the next few months. In case you're wondering how I got this target, I based it simply on very, very simple measure, and that is that we're going to get to about 209 as the all-time high for NEO. And since I've got $300,000 target for Bitcoin, and that is 15 times its all-time high of 20,000, if you make a crude measure that if altcoins go to around about the 15 times as well, from their all-time high, like NEO was 209, so 15 times that will give you around about the $3,000 mark. So that's how I got my target. A few people have asked me about the Cardano chart. Again, this was a chart, as I showed you in previous videos, that we were coming up to the cup and handle, and that once we break this neckline here, we're going to go to the races. So we've obviously done that. And I said that NEO is going to follow suit because Cardano and NEO tend to go hand in hand for some reason, historically. So we're actually currently here at around about the 87 cents mark. And my target for Cardano is based on the all-time high that it had at a 1.4, around that level. And that would give you a target of about 21 when you multiply the all-time high of 1.4 with 15, as I've done with Bitcoin and NEO. So we should be able to get a target around about here in the next few months. A lot of people keep asking me about the altcoins. To be perfectly honest with you, all the altcoins are at this stage of the market anyway. And if you wanted to choose any altcoins, you know, the safe bet would be, and in my opinion, this is not financial advice, you've got around about 8,000 cryptocurrencies to choose from, and 99% of them are just total rubbish. But in this altcoin season, most of them will make you money. But the safe thing would be, for me anyway, if I was really looking at the altcoins, would be to pick anybody in the top 20, and then whatever extra funds you've got, then to use that to buy into any of these altcoins, because most of them will do very, very well. However, I can only give you my own opinion. I am still fully invested with mostly Ethereum and Bitcoin, because those are the two horses which are virtually guaranteeing me a certain amount of profits which I'm going to be happy with. With the altcoins, you would never know, but I do have an interest, as I've shown you before, with NEO and maybe one or two other altcoins as well. But certainly, the majority of my portfolio is with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there. Thank you once again for watching. If you found value in this video, then please do remember to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell. If you want to leave your comments, questions and suggestions, then please leave them in the comments below, just like you did in the last video. I've tried to cover most of the points. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.